welcome to Silverstone for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. This is a series whereby the cars have changed once again, but the drivers haven't. We caught up with some of the faces earlier on to find out why they keep coming back. Ben, tell us, in the past years you've raced in the modified class and now you're in production. How are you finding the change?
Well, it's quite a big change actually. So obviously there's quite a lot less power, but also the guys are a heck of a lot more competitive. It feels in production this year than they were in modified last few years.
Well, the racing certainly seems really close, and that's partly because the cars are all pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's close. I think a couple of years ago, what really appealed to me about modified was it was a lot more serious and people were putting a lot more effort into the car preparation, and production was more or less you turn up in a road car, whereas now the production guys take it very, very seriously, and I've seen data loggers and all kinds of stuff going on. So really got to raise my game this year.
And how have you done in qualifying today?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask that. Qualifying today has been a bit of a disaster. I think I've not benefited from the circuit changes, and I need to familiarise myself a bit more with the circuit. So I had 20 minutes in qualifying and I'm 27th on the grid. So it should be a good start, hopefully get a good start and have good fun.
Do you feel a bit more confident for the race now you've had that 20 minutes on track?
Well, I could have done with probably another 10 sessions, but yeah, every little helps.
You should have come along to the cheat day in the week when they were all testing.
See, that's what I was trying to avoid saying. I was trying to say everyone's getting a lot more serious. There's a lot more testing going, a lot more instruction, and yeah, I really need to be a bit more prepared for the next meeting.
Steve, you're the series veteran in some senses. You run half the cars and you race as well.
Veteran in many ways, but yes, I've raced since day one with the Elise Trophy and prep one or two cars on the grid.
And you've raced in pretty much every car that has raced in the series?
Yeah, when it first started off, I entered what was Class B, which then moved to modified. Did a couple of production races, then we moved to production, raced Scots 211, both in Imola and the last race at Brands Hatch last year.
And you're back out on production cars this year, of course, because that's pretty much all that's running. Yeah,
I have to do production in the UK. At the moment, we're going to do production in Europe, unless something comes off very quickly, because I think we're off to Europe in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's Nürburgring in 2 weeks. So you'll be in this car then as well?
At the moment, we're going to have to be, yeah. Unfortunately, my modified car's not invited to go into Europe.
Is that because you cheated in that car last year?
No, it was this car I cheated in last year. No, I think my Duratec car may be a little bit too quick for other people.
Oh, that's fair enough. And hopefully you'll get out there and take a win today.
It's going to be difficult. I think I was asleep during qualifying. We qualified 15th. I was aiming for the same number, so trying to qualify 18th slot. I thought you got a prize if you qualified the same as your race number, but obviously not.
Pat, tell us, you're the only driver that actually comes here from Ireland to race.
Yeah, probably a bit mad, but you have such lovely weather here in England. How can I resist it?
But in terms of coming over here, is there no other opportunity for you to race your Elise over in Ireland?
Well, there is, not so much as here, but I did some Elise Trophy races last year and I just enjoyed it so much. I had to come back.
Is it the racing that you enjoy? Is it the social side of things?
A bit of everything, I think. A bit of everything, yeah.
Complete nuts paddock from most of what I see.
It's not that bad, it's not bad. It is fun though, and the racing is good, it's competitive, and I'm into the Lotuses, so I like to race Lotuses rather than something else, so this is where it's the best place to do it.
And you haven't had any trouble getting here this weekend?
No, not at all, no. Luckily I didn't fly, or tried to fly.
Well, I hope you enjoy the race, and tell us, you didn't drive the actual car here though, did you?
No, I brought it on a trailer, no. I've no registration on it at the minute, so I probably shouldn't be driving it on the road.
Fair enough. Well, get out there on the circuit and show us what the Irish are made of.
Well, I'll try my best. Try my best. It's a new car to me this weekend, so still getting used to it and still learning the track, so they're my excuses.
Fair play. That's a Martin Donnelly book of excuses, that one.
Yeah, our Irish are good at excuses, if nothing else.
Thanks a lot, Pat.
OK, thank you.
I'm joined now by three of the most experienced drivers in the trophy. Boys, you've been racing with the trophy from the start. So how come you felt the need to go testing before today's race here at Silverstone?
I didn't actually test. I was dragged along by Harding to a track day, but yeah, I did indulge in a little bit of cheating.
But it didn't really pay off, did it?
No. For once the throttle was completely open, as it jammed open on the way into Copse, and I had to pull off afterwards.
Oh dear, not so good. So starting a little bit down the grid for you, Matt.
Yeah, in about 40th or somewhere. I should have fun then.
You should do. And James, you seem really tired. Is that as a result of your testing?
Yeah, it was a very testing day the last couple of days at my desk in London. I didn't do any testing. No, I'm well off. Can't really hook it up today, so a bit rusty. Getting older.
Oh dear, not so good. Well, we'll let you sort of quibble in the background about your age and your lack of testing. But you certainly did test, didn't you, Paul?
I certainly didn't test, I'm afraid. No, I came along on Thursday. Couldn't drive my car all day because Matt stole it off me, I'm afraid, and Mr. Williams did as well. So it's a bit of a disappointment. Couldn't get any laps in whatsoever, so my performance today is not a surprise, quite frankly.
No cheating at all?
No, none at all, no. I just provide the cars to the cheats in the team, so that's it, really.
Well, there you go. We've heard it from the boys themselves. There was no cheating here at all. Promise.
The spring, summer sunshine beaming down on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. Race 2 of their weekend, and they're on their formation lap. A wonderful sight as the cars pour around. That's a less beautiful sight, and that's Rob Austin, and that looks very ominous. I suspect his race may end half a lap before it was due to start. The rest of the pack head towards the grid, which is a reversal of qualifying in the top 10, less attrition. So Martin Roberts takes pole position with Stuart Kirkbride alongside. Rob Austin would have started third, but he's not there. Tom Chataway lines up in 11th with Pat Bennett well up in 13th, Simon Deacon into 15th, and then Ben Pitch rounding out the top 20. Mammoth entry once more as Eric Bailey lines up in 21st alongside him. Paul McNeely, Donald Cannard back for a second race this year, and Nigel Ayres, let's hope he doesn't spin in race 2. And still they come. Andrew Napier in 31st position with Paul Baker alongside him, another race 1 spinner. Greg Noble and David Skeggs again towards the back of the field, and then all on his own in 41st position is Ben Hyland, and he really does have a mountain to climb to move up through the field. So a fantastic entry once more for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. We get the green flag at the rear of the field, so we're about to go racing in car with Luigi Valentino Mazza as it's all eyes to the gantry. The red lights go on, they go out. A good start from Martin Roberts. Kirkbride on the inside in the blue and white car gets away as well too. But it's Roberts who has the advantage of the head towards Cops first time. No, it's not. Through goes Stuart Kirkbride. He takes the lead. Mazza tries to go around the outside of Roberts. Marcus Jewell and Simon Phillips well up as they scatter in the background. And that's the reason why we've got a spinner in the rear of the field. We'll pick up who that is in a moment's time as the leaders make it towards Beckett for the first time. And it's Kirkbride from Roberts, then Marcus Jewell in 3rd position, Luigi Valentino Mazza in 4th. And if we are in for a replay of the first race of the weekend, then this is going to be an absolute treat. Back in car with Mazza, slight dab of the brakes from Marcus Jewell, and that could give Luigi the run. We see the spin again, and that is Tom Chataway, who has rotated early in the race. So Chataway, a lot of work to do from the back of the field. It's David Skeggs to be right on board with. A nice move from David, straight between 2 cars in the middle of the field. Down to Stowe. We're still on that one as the car bouncing on the suspension of Stuart Kirkbride on the limit as he goes through Stowe, but it gives him a bit of an advantage as also well up is Russell Hill. And that's another spin, and would you believe it, that's Tom Chataway again. Well, we heard him chatting away to Gemma Scott earlier in the weekend, and well, he might be thinking about his holidays in Portugal a bit more now, because his participation in this race, unfortunately, looking like it's an early end. Up towards Abbey for the first time, and Kirkbride planting the car on the inside of the circuit. He's making Roberts drive around the outside of him, which is what Roberts tries to do. That almost opens the door for Marcus Jewell, and Martin Roberts looking very frustrated behind Stuart Kirkbride. In car with Marcus Jewell, so he looks to the inside of Martin Roberts into bridge. Nicely covered by Martin Roberts and Marcus Jewell. Well, that was optimistic, to be honest, and that could give Luigi Valentino Mazza an opening. Mazza looks to the inside, so Simon Phillips says, OK, I'll try the outside. Paul Harding also up in the mix as well, and Paul drives a lot better than he races as Phillips again to the inside, in car with Simon Phillips. There's Luigi Valentino Mazza, who runs a little bit wide, and he barges Phillips the outside of the circuit as they go to Luffield. That enables Paul Harding to get through. Adam Busey also well in the mix as the rest of the pack streaming through. A wonderful, wonderful sight as the sun just begins to go down over the construction site that is Silverstone, getting ready for the British Grand Prix later in the year. Well, if that race is even half as good as that one, as this one even, then we are in for an excellent encounter. But at the front of the field, we've still got Stuart Kirkbride and Martin Roberts, dicey way, and Roberts again looking to the outside of Kirkbride into Maggots. That's not really an overtaking opportunity unless you've converted the move before you get to the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel complex. They're in the middle of Beckett's right now, and that then feeds them into the left-hander of Chapel Curve, which we are going to enjoy in the cockpit with Marcus Jewell. On to the Hangar Straight we come. And Jewell closing up on the tail of Martin Roberts as they accelerate down towards Stowe Corner. And Roberts looks to the inside of Roberts looks to the outside of Kirkbride. Jewell looks to the inside of Roberts. How is this all going to shuffle out? Marcus Jewell takes the lead. Brilliant maneuver from Marcus Jewell. He goes past both Roberts and Kirkbride at once as Valentino Mazza goes wide and almost collects Martin Roberts. He heads back onto the circuit, but Marcus Jewell, what a stunning pass. He takes the lead, and well, he won the first race of the weekend. He is already pulling out an advantage over Martin Roberts for the lead in race 2. So it's Stuart Kirkbride who's the big loser. He has been shuffled down to 4th as again Mazza explores the extremities of the Silverstone circuit. Off goes Ben Pitch. Oh, that's such a shame. As Mazza and Roberts go side by side, they swap wing mirrors as they go to Abbey. And Luigi Valentino Mazza, does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Superb overtaking from Mazza, so he moves up in 2nd position. Roberts demoted to 3rd, 4th position to Kirkbride, and then Paul Harding and Steve Williams, as Williams looking to the inside of Harding. Simon Phillips is still there, as is Russell Hill. There's Russell in the silver car just at the back of that train. Steve Williams, he's the yellow number 18 car with the Tiger livery. As he runs a little bit wide through Luffield, that means that Simon Phillips says, I rather fancy that position. Instead, Phillips runs out of time going through Luffield, so he shuffles in behind Steve Williams once again as they accelerate through Woodcote and on to the start and finish straight. This is going to complete, I think, the 2nd lap of the race. Russell Hill goes through as well. Front of the field, Luigi Valentino Mazza trying to pull away from Martin Roberts as Steve Williams goes to the inside of Paul Harding, and Stuart Kirkbride is just being shuffled all the way down the pack. Williams goes past, Harding goes past, Phillips goes past, and Russell Hill goes past, and Hill, he also goes past Simon Phillips. He looks to go around the outside of Steve Williams as they go through Beckett's. No way through there. But aggressive racing this from Russell Hill. Great to watch as well, very clean, although when it comes to aggression behind the wheel of a Lotus Elise, then look no further than Steve Williams. At Brands Hatch a few weeks ago, his storming drives up through the field were something to behold. Today starting a little bit further to the front of the pack. Can he challenge for a podium position? Well, here comes Russell Hill, and through goes Russell Hill. So Russell Hill gains another position. He goes past Steve Williams and now sets off in pursuit of Paul Harding. We've got waved yellow flags at club, and that's why we've got another car off on the inside of the circuit. We've got Ben Pitch being recovered by the snatch vehicle at the head of the picture, and you just wonder, as part of that construction work, if somebody planted Lotus Elise seeds, because we've now got a collection of 3 of them in various states of disrepair at club as the leaders stream through. Of course, yellow flags mean no overtaking. Doesn't mean the racing's any less frantic, as Russell Hill gets a good run on Paul Harding as they head up towards Abbey. Is he going to go through? Not quite. Paul Harding holds on around the outside, as at the front of the field Luigi Valentino Mazza is beginning to reel in Marcus Jewell. He's bringing Martin Roberts with him, although Roberts not quite close enough to challenge Mazza for that 2nd position. This, the battle for 4th place, has still got Harding from Hill, and then Steve Williams. Simon Phillips is not out of the reckoning just yet, but Russell Hill looking very, very aggressive, just snatching a break as he goes into Brooklands. Simon Phillips tucked onto the tail of Steve Williams as well, and Phillips just runs a little bit wide, possibly going through Luffield, but it gives him a good run out towards Woodcote, which used to be fearsome with the concrete wall just inside the circuit. The work over the winter has extended the runoff area. These drivers can just have a bit more confidence, and Russell Hill needs no invitation. He goes back past Paul Harding, so Harding demoted another position. There is Paul Baker again in the midst of a midfield tussle, as he just goes around the outside of Andrew Napier in number 61. Well, back to the battle at the head of the field, and we have still got fighting away. Paul Harding, Steve Williams and Simon Phillips as they head through Chapel Curve onto Hangar Straight in car with Phillips as he tries to tuck into the slipstream of Steve Williams, accelerating under the Silverstone Bridge on towards Stowe Corner as Phillips looks to the inside of Paul Harding. Well, here we are in the midfield with David Skeggs, and Skeggs, whichever way you look, he's trying to pick his way past some traffic. The orange car just ahead, keeping him at bay. From the outside, we can see it in full widescreen as James Proctor it is who holds Skeggs at bay. Well, Steve Williams has made his way past Paul Harding as they go through Stowe. Simon Phillips is going to do the same into Club. Phillips on the inside line. Will we see a flash of silver to the right of the screen? No, we won't. Paul Harding demoted, and he has also got Stuart Kirkbride as well, very much in the mix. So Harding is shuffled down as Williams and Phillips now set about trying to reel in Russell Hill ahead. Still David Skeggs and James Proctor are fighting away, and Skeggs gets a good run on Proctor as they go through Club. And is Skeggs going to make that move stick, or is Proctor going to hold on around the outside? Instead, Proctor goes to Buckinghamshire. He runs so wide. Through goes David Skeggs, and so the pressure finally pays in favour of David Skeggs. Plenty of battles going on further up the field. Somebody pulls off ahead of the screen. I think that could be Greg Noble, in fact, pulling off. So that's a shame. We've got a retirement at Abbey once more, as fighting going on throughout the field, as that's Neil Livesey in number 17, just right on the tail of Peter Driver. And Peter Driver, we saw at Brands Hatch in the first meeting of the year, is an expert at defensive driving, so Neil could be there for some time. Back to the fight at the head of the field as Steve Williams, Simon Phillips, Paul Harding, Stuart Kirkbride in car with Luigi Valentino Mazza, who is doing a fantastic job of reeling in Marcus Jewell. So this is the battle for the lead, the race. Marcus Jewell in the orange car just ahead of us leads it, and then Luigi Valentino Mazza is there in second position. They accelerate through Maggots, out of Chapel Curb and onto the Hangar Straight. And Marcus Jewell, he's just flashing on the brakes to keep Mazza at bay. A little bit strange that along the Hangar Straight. Maybe it's just to distract Luigi Valentino Mazza. And also we can see that Martin Roberts has been caught by Russell Hill. Now let's see who comes through her first. Will it be the silver of Hill? It will. Russell Hill goes third as Martin Roberts gets shuffled down into fourth position. There's Simon Deacon as he follows through and pursues Stuart Kirkbride. Well, for Martin Roberts, it goes from bad to worse. He loses out that podium position. He's now got Steve Williams right onto his tail, as plenty of antics at Club, as we've seen all race long, and so they continue in the battle for the final remaining top 10 positions. Steve Williams got the run of Martin Roberts. Roberts holding that line bang in the middle of the road. He's going to make Williams drive around the outside. Steve Williams says, I don't think I'll attempt that through Abbey. Instead, I may try something going into Bridge. So let's see who emerges from Bridge. Well, here come the two race leaders with Marcus Jewell and Luigi Valentino Mazza. And, well, Marcus Jewell has been somewhat imperious all weekend. He took the first race and he is leading, as he has been for much of race 2. In car with Simon Phillips. He is tucked up behind Martin Roberts. Roberts runs a little bit wide. Are they going to make contact? He squeezes Martin Roberts. Look to the right of the screen for blue. Well, Roberts may just hold on as Phillips, does he run a little bit wide? No, he tucks in behind the car of Martin Roberts, who's got the licence plate, which means Martin probably uses that as his road car as well, although it's certainly proving to be a very effective race car here on the Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit's day. 3 abreast into Copse, this is what we want to see. Through goes Simon Phillips. Steve Williams unable to follow Simon through, so Roberts only loses 1 place. They accelerate up towards Beckett's. That's a spin there for Dave Carr in the Donley Track Academy machine. So Dave Carr, unfortunately, losing several positions as Williams and Roberts almost go side by side through Beckett's, and Steve Williams looking every which way he can to pick his way past Martin Roberts. They head onto the Hangar Straight as the leaders go under the Silverstone Bridge, accelerating towards Stowe. Back in car with Luigi Valentino Mazza. And for Mazza, this race has been somewhat frustrating because he's been able to catch up to the tail of Marcus Jewell. He's not really been able to effectively challenge him for the overall race lead. Steve Williams is most certainly challenging Martin Roberts and looks to the inside. Simon Phillips goes through. He's already passed Roberts. As Steve Williams goes through, he gains position. So now Martin Roberts will be busy having to defend from Paul Harding, who goes through. Harding gains position as well, and so Martin Roberts, in the space of about a lap and a half, has lost a good 3 positions. as Phillips accelerates out of club past the pit lane to be for the 2011 British Grand Prix as they head up towards Abbey. Stuart Kirkbride, who shared the front row with Martin Roberts, is now also putting Roberts under a little bit of pressure in the number 9 car. So Martin Roberts sets off in pursuit of Paul Harding, and he's got Stuart Kirkbride right on his tail. Steve Williams, well, he's got Harding behind him now, and Williams, he's really rather let Simon Phillips get away. So Roberts from Kirkbride, then plenty of dicing still going on as they all concertina up into Brooklands. We are coming towards the latter stages of this race. It's a 20-minute timed race, which means it's going to be roughly 9 laps, depending on how quickly the leader goes. And Marcus Jewell is certainly going as quickly as he can, because he's got Luigi Valentino Mazza looming large in his rearview mirror. We then have Russell Hill coming through in 3rd position, Simon Phillips in 4th, then Steve Williams, Paul Harding, Martin Roberts fighting back on the inside of Paul Harding, but Harding swoops and takes the outside line through Copse. Well, back to battle in the midfield. It's being headed up by Tess Howell, and well, Tess has got the rest of the pack swarming behind her. We've got Paul Baker in the mix. We have got, I think, Paul McNeely as well, also Andrew Napier. So they accelerate along the start and finish straight once more, and it is the number 8 car of Paul McNeely just looking to the inside of Paul Baker as they all tip into Copse Corner. Tess Howell, again, not sure whether to look really through the windscreen or the rear view mirror, such is the swarming pack behind her. In car with David Skeggs again, as Skeggs heads onto the hangar straight. He's got somebody in front of him. Will he be able to get into the slipstream and make the manoeuvre stick? Well, he looks to the outside towards Stowe. I don't think he's going to be able to make that move there. Maybe he'll switch back to the inside. We go for the external view. It's Nigel Ayres, and Ayres runs wide, so David Skeggs gains the position. James Proctor challenging Dave Carr. Carr keeping Proctor at bay for the moment, though Proctor trying to carry the speed through Stowe, maybe challenging Dave Carr as they head towards club. Well, David Skeggs almost loses it. Well, that's going to allow Nigel Ayres back through. No, it's not, because Skeggs slews onto the circuit, pushes Ayres wide, and so David Skeggs, well, he holds onto the position. I think that was more because Nigel Ayres, had he tried to go around the outside of David Skeggs, would probably have been punted off by David. So Simon Deacon now in pursuit of Stuart Kirkbride. So Deacon in the dark 39 machine in pursuit of Stuart Kirkbride, who in turn is still trying to chase down Martin Roberts. Well, Deacon trying as hard as he can. He's got advance on the side of the car. Unfortunately, that's not what he's doing. He loses 2 positions as he runs wide through Brooklands. Marcus Jewell, Luigi Valentino Mazza complete another lap as they head into Copse Corner. And Mazza, does he run right? Yes, onto the AstroTurf, which is extremely slippery. The drivers really do lose a lot of traction. They move out there into Beckett's for the leading duo. Now, what can Mazza do? This really is a game of high-speed chess, because everything that Luigi Valentino Mazza does to try and close in on Marcus Jewell, Jewell for the moment is able to counter, and you just wonder how much Marcus Jewell's got in reserve. Off at Copse goes Simon Deacon. So that looks, unfortunately, like it's the end of the race for Simon Deacon. He pulls out at Copse Corner, the leading duo into Stowe, and Marcus Jewell taking the perfect wide in, tight through the apex, and then running wide out in car with Luigi Valentino Mazza, who runs even wider out, putting 2 wheels out onto the AstroTurf again. Simon Deacon still looking for an appropriate place to pull off and retire as leading duo go into club. And this is really as close as Mazza has been to Marcus Jewell for much of this race. Now, if Mazza can gain another 2 or 3 car lengths, he doesn't run very wide through Copse, then he could be in a position to challenge Marcus Jewell as we head back towards the stadium section that will complete the lap. Into the Abbey chicane they go. And Jewell, well, that is a study of poise and control. Absolutely on the limit. Back in car with Luigi Valentino Mazza as they head into bridge, requiring maximum commitment from the drivers. Then Priory, often the scene of misguided manoeuvres, and so Mazza instead looking to the outside, possibly a lunge up the inside into Brooklands. No, Marcus Jewell covers that avenue out very early, but then does he run a little bit wide? This could give Mazza the opening he's looking for. Out of Brooklands they go into Luffield, and Marcus Jewell taking the tight line through Luffield and accelerating then onwards towards Woodcote, and then along the start and finish straight to complete another lap. Well, we ride again with Luigi Valentino Mazza, who kisses the curbs as he goes through Woodcote. Across the line goes Marcus Jewell. Here comes Mazza on towards Copse Corner. And Mazza really is running out of time with which to try and do something about Marcus Jewell. They accelerate up towards Maggots. Through Maggots they go into Beckett's, where they go right, they go left, they go right, and then they go left again through Chapel Curve. That will feed them on to the Hangar Straight. Mazza closing up on Marcus Jewell as they go through Chapel, and this is the last lap of the race as David Hay looks to make a manoeuvre. I don't think there's any way through there. They just passed one of the slower cars, so David Hay chasing down. Final couple of positions in the midfield as Mazza closes onto the tail of Marcus Jewell as they accelerate down towards Stowe, but Jewell just able to stretch his legs in the braking zone, so that buys them a car length or thereabouts. We have just half a lap even of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit to go for the two leaders, and Valentino Mazza would just love to gain half a length as they go through Club on Marcus Jewell. Last time around, Mazza got an excellent run out of Club, and that really brought him onto the tail of Marcus Jewell as they then went through Bridge and back towards Priory and Brooklands. This time Mazza is maybe a little bit further adrift, just 3 or so lengths. Certainly Marcus Jewell is not mistake-proof. The slightest slip and Mazza will be through like a shot. Into Abbey they both go. Marcus Jewell accelerating on towards Bridge Corner for the final time. Through Bridge they go. This is looking very good for a double win here at Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit for Marcus Jewell. Into Priory for the final time. Luigi Valentino Mazza is too far back. As long as Marcus Jewell doesn't run wide through Brooklands, he's going to take the victory, surely. Through Brooklands he goes. Perfectly done by both drivers. And it really has been a masterclass from the pair of them, pulling well clear of the rest of the field. So it's just Woodcote to go between Marcus Jewell, the checkered flag, and another race victory in the Lotus Track Elise Trophy. We watch the excellent Woodcote. Here comes Marcus Jewell. The checkered flag goes down and Jewell takes the win. Luigi Valentino Mazza finishes in second position. And then at the very back of the screen, Russell Hill coming through to take third. Plenty of dicing still going on at the rear of the field as we have got, well, the 44 car of Stu Moult, and just being pushed a little bit wide by Chris Baker in the yellow number 12, and Moult runs very wide, so does Baker, and Stu Moult, he goes off. Is he going to make contact with Chris Baker? We've got a spin from Andrew Napier further back. Moult and Baker in the back of the screen, side by side through Luffield. Another spin as Paul McNeely, well, he nearly made it to the finish, but he rotates, loses a place. Now, who will emerge from Moult and Baker? We watch Woodcote expectantly. Here they come, side by side, and it's Stu Moult just on the line by 200ths of a second, it says on the timing screen, for 20th position. Brilliant battle. Well, no doubt about the race winner. That's Marcus Jewell. He takes the win from Luigi Valentino Mazza, with Russell Hill rounding out the podium from a very strong weekend. Simon Phillips takes fourth, Steve Williams fifth, and it's Stuart Rowland who rounds out the top 10.
Marcus, a double win, you've got to be absolutely delighted.
I'm delighted, yeah. It's a very difficult thing to do, a double win in any level of motorsport, even club racing. So yeah, really pleased to get that. We've got pushed really hard, but you know, pleased to get a double win.
You nearly got overtaken there on the last few laps. Luigi was really close, wasn't he?
Yeah, I kind of, I'm going to say this, I backed it off a bit because I knew that he wasn't going to take a silly lunge. He's a real nice, safe, clean driver, and my tyres were off, so yeah, he may have got me if I slowed down even more, but yeah, I felt quite in control.
Whose excuse book have you been reading?
Either Walshy's or Donnelly's. They both got great ones, so I just copy what they say.
And celebrating, did they cheapskate on the champagne?
No, we've got good champagne, rubbish trophies, so Golding's got to get better trophies, but much better class of champagne at Silverstone, so the MSV circuits need to pull their finger out a bit because they sell us co-op champagne. So
fantastic result, second place now this time, even with gearbox problems.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it sort of managed to still drive the car, obviously, and it was a great race with Marcus, two cars obviously being quite different. And it was just really exciting. I mean, I managed to catch him a few times and then, sort of pull away again. So it was just a really good dice, to be honest, and made a break at the beginning, which was important. So, fantastic.
Well, there were certainly a couple of moments where we thought you were going to get past.
Yeah, and me too. Wasn't quite there, and like I said, I was struggling a little bit with the gearbox. Not to say that would have made so much difference, but I just enjoyed it so much, and second sort of meeting, so I'm over the moon and looking forward to the next one.
With a new gearbox, maybe you'll be winning the next one.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Absolutely, hope so, but we'll see. No, we'll see the track and see how I get on, but yeah, fingers crossed, yeah.
Russell, third place, well done. Did you enjoy that race?
Absolutely brilliant, yeah. Bad qualifying, and I had to do a lot in both races, unfortunately, but yeah, to get up to third, absolutely brilliant, fantastic.
And of course, overtaking back markers as well.
Yes, exactly right. It made it very exciting. Had a few iffy moments when the tyres went off, but managed to hold on in race 2 to get the third place, even under a lot of pressure for the last 2 laps.
And clearly enjoyed it. The big smile on your face.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to go home and have a few deserved beers, I think, tonight. I've been gagging for a beer all afternoon with the sun out, and I really need one now.
Well, I know you've already tried to leave the circuit once, so we'll let you escape now. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I'm joined now by Sam of TDI. Sam, first of all, how does your involvement come about with the Elise Trophy?
We were asked, plain and simple. We had very little involvement in the Lotus scene, and initially that was a main talking point because there was a lot of talk of impartiality, especially when it comes to the rule makers. We needed to be seen to be impartial. We have a sophisticated piece of equipment for testing the power output of complete car chassis when they're made. It's one of only a few systems of its accuracy in the country. It's worth a lot of money. We pledged our sponsorship to give the series our labour and access to the dyno throughout the year, and it's a key point in the performance equalisation of the series. 151 horsepower at the hubs is the limit for the whole series. Everybody's policed, everybody has to stick to it. 151.1 horsepower is a fail. You're either relegated to the back of the grid or you're disqualified from the race.
And we certainly saw a few people disqualified last year.
Yeah, I think it's in the nature of most car developers, teams and drivers to try and push all the rules to the limit. A few people sailed a little bit too close to the wind. We haven't seen any what I would call overt cheating. A few people were caught out, and I think that generally the paddock has embraced the rule really nicely, and they keep it all good-natured. Those that are found to be slightly over the limit take it in their stride, they sort it out, and we don't normally see the repeat failures, so it's good.
And it certainly produces a lot of banter between the drivers as well.
It does, yeah, and I think a lot of the drivers actually, whilst they moan about being power tested when it happens to them, they love the fact that when they're going down a straight, they haven't got cars passing them because they're cheating. And they love the fact that if they see a winner on the podium, they're confident that that person really has got there by merit.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And we look forward to a long-term relationship with TDI.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's it from us here at Silverstone. It's been an absolutely beautiful day here. Cars are now loaded up, ready to head off to the next race. So join us soon here on EliseTrophy.tv.